just heard something.
Hi guys, it's Julia, and today I'm going to be talking about how my PACMAN frog got an eye infection. If you are new here, go ahead and click that subscribe button down below, and also don't forget to hit the bell next to it so you don't miss any new uploads. A little bit of the backstory about what happened. My PACMAN frog is on a staple diet of night crawlers and red wigglers. I was at a reptile store and the guy said, have you ever thought about giving horned worms and superworms as a treat to your PACMAN? And I said, I do give horned worm as a treat for him, but I never thought about superworm. He gave me one superworm to give to him in just a little cup. I put it in front of him, and it was actually really close in front of him. It wasn't less than an inch in front of him. He just opened his mouth and just let it roll in, basically. When it rolled in, he ended up closing his mouth and it was twirling on the outside of his mouth. I always watch him when he eats his food, and his left eye closed. Kind of moves when he eats sometimes, so I thought he got eco-earth in his eye, so I just let him be until he was done eating. Then I sprayed down his enclosure. So later on throughout the day, I was checking in on my animals and I noticed that his eye was still closed, and I was like, this is not normal. I have no idea what is going on. He sleeps during the day, so I didn't know if he was just closing that one eye and just keeping the other one open, Saw him the next day and he still had his eye closed. Just trying to look up why his eye would be like that. I think I sprayed down his enclosure and he ended up opening that eye, and I saw that it was cloudy. I think he has an eye infection, so I started looking up what it could be, and they weren't really clear. The only one that said anything about having a cloudy eye or an infected eye was if he had toxic out syndrome. You have a water bowl in there, and it has soiled water in there, and they breathe through their skin, so they absorb those toxins. And he doesn't have a water bowl in there. He did a long time ago when I first got him, but he never used it. I just keep his enclosure very, very humid, and he's always been fine that way. I didn't think it could be toxic out syndrome. I guess it would pertain if his soil is bad. I know that his soil isn't bad because I literally have the bag right here because I change out his soil all the time. Not sponsored. I went on Amino and found people who knew stuff about amphibians, and they all referred me go to the vet because amphibians can have their lives taken very quickly if there's something wrong with them because they are so sensitive. I immediately took him to the vet on Monday morning, and they got me in right away. Exotics vet. She has a license with amphibians specifically.
She said that he still has stomach in his food.
Food in his stomach, okay. She grabs a telescope, she looks into his left eye, and she said it's definitely cloudy, it's definitely infected. The best thing that you can do is give him eye drops, and then she prescribed me an oral medication. The oral medication I was a little confused about, but she explained it to me because I asked why, and she said it was for anti-inflammatory from the inside. As soon as I got home, I scooped out all of his soil and put new soil in there because I didn't want him to go back in there and put him back in the same soil. I put new stagma moss in there. I washed off his plants that are in there. He never ever goes near the plants, but I still washed him out anyways. And so here are some clips of me giving him his eye drops in the morning, and then also his oral medication. I think it's really important that I actually put this out there. Amphibians are very, very sensitive animals. I looked up what you should do, and I came across one YouTube video, and it was a water and honey solution. Never ever do that to my PACMAN frog. I took mine to the vet, and I highly recommend taking amphibians to an exotic vet. I know there's some controversy over it, whether the vet's telling you the truth or not, but I actually trust my vet. His eye is already getting better. Here's the catch with what had that incident, and he's been on medicine. He won't eat. The vet actually ended up calling me asking to check in to see how he was doing. I told him his eye looks like it's getting better, blah 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 blah, but he's still not eating. She was just like, have you like, what feeders do you have? I said I have dubia roaches, I have superworms, I have mealworms, I have red wigglers, I have night crawlers, I have hornworms, you name it. Nothing has worked, and hornworms are his absolute favorite. Like, no hesitation. As soon as that thing hits the ground, he's after it. I was talking to the vet and I was like, I know this might sound crazy, but he might be a little traumatized that his food actually fought back. I don't know. And she's like, no, you totally are, like, right. If he's been on a staple diet of something that can't physically hurt him, so red wigglers and night crawlers, to have something that he wanted to eat turn around and hurt him and bite him in the eye, he might be a little bit afraid of his food, so you might have to assist feed him. I tried snipping a little worm in half, a red wiggler in half, so it was small so I could assist feed him, and he just spit it back out. So I tried sticking a dubia in his mouth, I tried assist feeding a mealworm, not a superworm. I'm never doing that again, but he just won't take anything. We have him on a formula and I have to syringe feed him. That's what it has come down to. I know go long periods of time without eating, that's okay, but my vet said with him on his medication, it's just we need him to have food in his stomach and not just old food. He needs a new income of food. I just wanted to make this video because when I was trying to do research, I was struggling to find solutions, and obviously ended up going to the vet. So my advice to you, if there's anything ever wrong with your amphibian or any animal for that sake, call your vet, make an appointment with your vet, or just get on a conversation with her because over the phone, because to keep your animals alive and not just see if they can fight it off, because they're in captivity. Like, they're not in the wild where they can use you know, most likely fight it off. And the reason why some of these animals have a longer lifespan in captivity is because they don't have any predators at them, and also we can treat them for anything that could hurt them or kill them in the wild, like disease wise. If you buy an animal, you have a commitment to them to keep them healthy, feed them, give them proper environment, and etc. So I just wanted to inform you guys about what has happened to my PACMAN frog. And I'm sorry this is not the way I wanted you to meet Kirby, but I think this is a good informational video. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you next time.